from Polar Bear Michael's Hercules. There's a reason
Polar Bear Michael
with him, and he just wasn't quite able to get off to that running start that we'd expect to see. And come late game,
that's crazy. Yeah, they let I didn't realize that either. Cthulhu and Persephone through.
Really hard for Hercules.
Holy shit.
I think that he needs
Oof,
to
yeah.
shift his focus a little
That's
bit
weird.
that long lane. We saw him rotate out of the long lane.
Why'd they do that?
Really himself to the
I wish I saw what they banned.
That Persephone was bringing, but I think you really need to Voltron together, work with Panda Cat, and make sure that Cyclone Spin doesn't have that phenomenal game that he had.
Yeah, the long lane from Radiance absolutely connecting. I am curious, Myth. Do you think, for some reason, calling Mike Polar Bear Michael just sounds so funny to me? I wonder
yeah.
what Slaney calls Mike after a tough game. Polar Bear Michael, I can't believe you've
Polar
done this.
Bear
Game
Michael,
one,
I can't believe you've done this.
Not all on Michael. Just play it lights out. All right, time for
Got him.
2 picks and bans. Is there any spot that your eyes maybe go towards as far as a change of priority goes?
Jesus. How do you let that through? They've got to. Yeah.
Do you think that's something you're willing
Emoji
to do
ban.
if you're Ghost?
First ban Hebo.
I don't
Who
think
plays
it
Hebo?
should be, but if it is, they must have a strategy for it.
Or what are they
But
picking
even
that they
then,
don't want a
Benji
Hebo
on
around?
that Cthulhu controlled the damage charts, he controlled the team fights, he was bringing healing, and the strategy that you brought of executing the Cthulhu didn't quite work out. If they want to let Cthulhu through again, I really do expect we'll see Ghost Gaming go for that Achilles.
What are they banning
but
here?
Persephone was such an
If they
absolute issue that could just be mitigated right now if they decide to ban it. I
think they should ban the Persephone.
Yeah, the freest answer to anyone who just had a massive game on a god is just to ban him away. So we'll see if maybe Ghost, with a third and
I think
final
it's
ban
worth
here,
it.
take that Persephone away.
What else do you ban here that's better?
Taken away by Radiance as well. Freya and Olara, no surprise there. Another
Trying to
Hebo
think,
ban
yeah.
from
Okay,
Radiance. And
that makes
there's the
sense.
adaptation. Ghost is going to take this Persephone away. So still a lot.
Still
available
Cthulhu
here
open. They're
as
gonna get
far as
Cthulhu.
priority goes. I think the Cthulhu still comes to mind, especially after what we saw Benji do there. In game
Oh no!
number one.
Oh, they're getting Rom the Cyclone. They don't want that picked away.
Start here. Cyclone's
Yeah.
been, looking to reprise that role. And
I'm
have
so
another game.
good.
And he looks so good on this pick. Aggro already pointed it out, but he doesn't use that ultimate to finish off.
I need to
kills.
play
He
more
uses it to
Rom.
Engage a fight, poke out whoever he can, and then by
If
the
I
time the fight is
get
over,
AC.
he's got that ultimate again. You want to have it up as often as possible, so you have to use it early on. And Cyclone Spin was one of the first ones to really engage his fights with the Rama ultimate, and it looks phenomenal on it. He's able to continually find pressure. His laning.
What are you
phase
talking about,
wasn't
Jabri?
all.
Rival?
Doesn't really have the best
Who do you
matchup
mean?
into Cupid.
You mean
He
Ghost?
was able to stay afloat completely on his lonesome, left alone on that island in the long lane. But it does leave Ghost Gaming available to pick up the Cthulhu and the Cupid if they so choose.
Okay.
That's a pretty strong two
Makes
if
sense.
Ghosts go that way.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, they
Also,
did it.
keep your
Okay.
eyes, yes, on this. The Hercules once again makes his way through the ban column. Mike is going to pick the Hercules back up here in game number 2. Again, the mechanical skill shining through in game number 1. Just the situation maybe around the Hercules wasn't the best. So tough for Mike, but definitely not out of it on this Hercules. I think a great start here for Ghost. You look at Fine OK on this Cthulhu as well. Near unstoppable.
I can't believe it. I just shaking my head that fucking they buffed the god that. Look at how Radiance is valuing this Hunbots, and they made his ultimate even shorter cooldown. That's fucking ridiculous.
If that is
They took
solo lane,
Bracken.
this might just be the coolest play I've ever seen for Radiance. Oh, you thought your strategy was going to work on us? No, this is how you're actually.
People are picking Bracken because of the DR
And it makes
change,
me
right?
think
It's
that
got to be
either
why.
Solo or support because of this Hunbots pickup. We know adapting is very likely to run it back there. This Cabrakan pickup is incredibly spicy.
I forget that
but
they
in
were
of
called
itself,
rival,
it's
but
a
yeah,
decent
that makes
counter
sense.
matchup. Cabrakan's one completely mitigates Cthulhu's slow and root. You're able to very easily maneuver around it. Sure, Cthulhu can cancel out your tremors, but you don't really need the full channel of tremors now that they're able to group up the wave incredibly easily. I'm excited to see how this Cabrakan plays out.
Yeah, and one thing I think you mentioned, now that we see Ooh being locked in for Ghost over there for Panda Cat. We know what Panda Cat can do on this god. You sort of figured we might want to see a little extra long lane pressure from Mike, and now you look at one of the best facilitating gods for that in the Uller, Kill pressure abound, I think, for Ghost.
You dropped
Gaming,
that
at least
pronunciation
right
real
off the bat,
quick,
maybe on
didn't
the
you?
left side of the map. Gonna be difficult to lock down that ROM once the roll is on. The ultimate is there as well. But early damage and lockdown, absolutely there for Ghost to maybe make an immediate impact.
Levels 1 through 4, if you get touched by any ability from Ghost's duo lane, you're very likely to die. Start off the fight with an axe stun, well, that's a pull punch for Hercules. Start off with a pull punch for Hercules, that's every single one of Ullr's abilities.
Achilles
That's
Robin? They banned Robin.
Seems like Ghost Gaming is thinking that this Bracken is going to be
They banned Robin.
both Achilles and the Amaterasu now.
Robin and
So it
Erlang
seems
probably
like
just banning out early game
this
pressure
is gonna be their
jungles.
goal laner if this is actually
But they could
the
still
Bracken
just pick
support.
Thanatos
Radiance on the other hand, banning out junglers,
again,
taking away some
maybe.
early game pressure, very reminiscent of Ghost style. Robin and Erlang Shen, very good at controlling the pace. So far, both
They banned
traps are incredibly strong.
Achilles,
but it
that's
seems like
smart.
Radiance again is leaning more so towards that team fight
Ooh,
based
I
game.
love
I like
this.
this pick for Sam. I mean, Sam is the ultimate kind of pocket pick jungler that we
Yeah.
see here in this league, where Thanatos in somebody else's hands might seem interesting. Pele hasn't quite seen as much play, but just sort of
Yeah, the
data
cab
we have
thing
for
is
Sam
weird, but it's gotta
make
be
it a
because of the
little
DR
less
change.
interesting or confusing or out of pocket maybe for Ghost. So
Yeah,
I think it's strong, maybe
Ravana's just really good,
4 picks
and
here.
he's really good for early pressure. I don't like him
Maybe
as
not
much
along
late
the same
game,
vein. I
but
don't doubt for a minute BMT's ability to play this at the highest
Agni.
level. 2% pick rate is all we've seen. That's got to be what.
See, I think Agni's
in the
slept
SPL
on as
we've
fuck.
seen this
I
Agni,
love that.
At least in phase 2 goes.
I think that's a
You
good
like him
pick.
there in the mid lane for BMT.
I'm a huge proponent of Agni. I think
Some
this
spicy
guy is
picks in this
massive.
game. The fiery
The damage
Agni
is
and
one
the
of safest
Pele.
ways out of that mid lane is going to be very hard for Ghost to find pressure onto him. His ability to not get
Hamazots.
ranged ultimates, Rainfire.
What
one
is
of the
going
best ways
on?
to make
Wait.
sure you're not losing out and you can stay safe from a distance.
That's a
He's got
solo
so much damage and
Camazot
burn
support
potential.
Kabrakin.
Agni's
Okay.
very,
See, I
very
like
strong.
Kabrakin way better in the
Phenomenal
support.
team fight phase. With
rolled
any
in
form of
solo.
setup, he's going to have a ton of damage and set up
Afro.
Kabrakin and Hunbots.
Afro
That's
Pele,
loud
Afro
as
Uller.
well.
Oof.
Usually Camazot's has to be paired with all that CC. Having
This is good. Oh my god, this is gonna be good.
That's right, and with that Camazot's lock in, maybe the picture a little bit more clear here. Obviously, Agni in the mid lane, Kabrakin then falls to Aurora, Benji on the Camazots in solo, and then of course Cyclone Spin, no doubt about
Polar
that.
Bear Michael.
On the Hunbats. Aphrodite to round
Can't
out
believe
the
you've
draft
done
now
this.
for Ghost Gaming, so a fun mid lane matchup to watch here, Mifflin. What do you think about the Aphrodite pick, and how does that lane maybe look for?
It's gonna be gnarly, man. Aphrodite links up with Pele. She walks up, knocks you up. You get the back off damage and slow on the tail end of it. The burn potential is there, and it doesn't just have to be this Pele. Link up with Cthulhu. All of a sudden, it's gonna be so much harder to finish him off, especially considering he gets mitigations once he goes into Seven
Wow.
Madness. Link up with Hercules. They've got such
Jesus.
a strong front line here.
I love-
Aphrodite to
damage.
and
It's hard to even know who to root for
front
here.
line
Like,
is
I really
all
love
your
both
back line
rosters,
because
but
Afro's
for
almost
some reason, I
always
just
linked up with
have
Magneto
been
and
really enjoying watching
Gaming's
Ghost.
draft is a lot more cohesive this game, and their team fight potential is a lot higher. But they didn't
Alright,
sacrifice any
I'm
of
not
that
taking
early
my eyes off
pressure.
this.
Radiance
Sam
played their
Pele.
game in game number 1. We're able to walk away
I'm
with
curious
the
if
win.
he
See
ever
Ghost
builds
Gaming can bounce
Soul
back in
Eater.
Game 2 right now.
We really will, and I want to continue the conversation straight
I bet
away,
he
Agni,
doesn't.
about this Camazot's pick, because I think, honestly, Radiance did a really good job in picks and bans of navigating the cesspool of bans towards solo lane here. Because one thing I always find personally with
They're looking at-
Camazotz
oh,
is
look at-
he doesn't bring anything to the team
They're
fight.
looking around
It's
left.
not CC that you'd find in a solo laner. But this time they've kind of adjusted with this Agni pickup in mid lane. It does give them that little bit of extra CC that they may have once lacked.
Exactly.
They know now, they're
are
just
a
gonna
little
back
bit
up.
Still CC light. I mean, only 3 of their characters have CC that you're really going to be beadsing consistently, but all 3 of those CCs can insta kill you. My only concern is that only one of them is ranged, and that is where it can get a little bit awkward. Where adapting has to really trust Aurora to go in first, get the beads, then he can go in, and sometimes that leaves you a little bit too vulnerable to something like an Aphrodite, who can then give her and someone else a free immune off those engages. But I think that Radiance certainly has the tools to succeed here. I just always feel this way. Anytime there's an Aphrodite on the field, you are going to be the focal point. How well that Aphrodite plays is going to determine the outcome of this game.
And I think I'm looking at BMT a little bit there as well about how those bomb stuns can really connect onto that Afro, or look for when they're grouped closer together, because Afro's link target needs to keep his distance there to make sure they both don't eat those CCs. Dual lane start though, you saw again Ghost Gaming getting aggressive here, trying to deny Radiance from doing the both. Radiance this time though, loaded up deeply on their own half of the map to see the danger coming and made sure this is an even lane for now. And the next wave coming through, however, they're going to dip into their jungle and take down this purple, while Ghost Gaming keep the pressure in the lane.
A little bit surprised that Ghost doesn't do the purple into Alpha Harpy start, just because their level 2 power spike as Hercules Uller is so nuts in comparison to Ramka Bracken, but maybe they feel like they can force Radiance to make a small mistake, and if you make a mistake against this lane, you'll die.
Oh, well, a big mistake could potentially in mid lane. That burning dash coming out from Big Man Tings will be first blood. Could be a double if he could just find a basic. Adapted says, don't worry, I'll cover the option. And make it a 2-for-0 early for Radiance in the mid lane in a Salmon Twig versus Adapted Big Man Scrap. Huge win there for Radiance. It could have been bigger, that, right, if some of the jungle caps were up. But there's nothing really available for them to take.
Listen, it's the worst case scenario for Radiance that there's nothing up for them to take, but they still got a double in mid in the 2v2. That's still a great spot to be in.
Dual lane, however, though, trying to answer back with a good Earthbreaker from Mike there. Not enough to bring down a Roar just yet. I know you mentioned the lack of range CC they've got. They did go for blinks on both Adapted and Cyclone here. As now Sam for Soccer rearing his ugly head round this left-hand side. Ward has been placed down though, as you can see, so they're well aware of the situation. Radiance play it safe and don't get caught out of position. And Sam is going to base on that ward, which is great for the team to know. Adapted might just wait for him to back and then engage himself after the fact, and that could be a danger time for Ghost.
There we go.
Now with
That's
that
better.
play, a Raw blinking on in, looking for a stun, forces the escapes from Ghost, but pressure
Fuck, I
has been
wanted to watch
relieved.
Sam closer.
Might even know Adapted was even
I think
there.
he just got...
Man, I wonder if
Oh, what
Adapted
happened?
would've stayed
Fuck,
if
I missed
it's
what
a
happened.
risk to
Fuck.
stay.
Okay, I'm never doing that
Because
again.
all your right side buffs are up,
But I fixed the
both
stream
EVM
too,
and
so
Panic
okay.
Cat used their escapes, and then they stepped up. Think
Yep.
that might have been an opportunity, but Hunbat's a level 4, not exactly the scariest jungler in the whole world, so I think it's safe to trust.
Pele died, Afro
Adapted's
died.
judgment in that moment.
Bots and Agni
Takes
got the
his speed,
kills.
now goes to his blue.
Oof.
Sam was showing his face for a second, but won't be there in time. Do want to go back to the double blink on Adapted and Aurora this game. Will that help them out a little bit with that, the CC being a bit awkward to try and execute consistently? Will this allow them to get in range a little bit more, not just have to rely on Agni stuns?
Of course, that's really what it's there for. These two characters really rely pretty heavily on blink the majority of the time. As Sam's in trouble here, Fear No Evil away.
Oh my
from
god.
Big Man Tings, but
Oh my god, he's
Sam
getting
still, I don't know how he
trolled.
gets
Ooh,
out of this
adapting
safely unless adapting whiffs the
misses
somersault,
his
in which case that
jump,
checks out,
and
that's how you get out of it safely.
dang.
Good
Wow.
identification by Sam that
Close.
he has to force adapting to push him away from mid lane, because if he goes towards Big Man, that's another easy kill.
That's a good point. I think the most interesting thing about that is if Adapted hit that monkey toss right at the start, he probably would have got the kill with that, and the basic attack would have been enough overall, but it doesn't happen this time round, so now 120 seconds on Adapted's ult is now on cooldown, whereas Sam should get a bit of time to get
We're
to
just
that
farming over
5.
here.
But I think the thing with Ghost overall, like this game, they've not got a whole lot of pressure in the middle area with this Aphrodite, you would say, up against the Agni. It's really much looking to farm up through this early stage here, Ryan. And that, alongside the Pele and both of them dying early on, is a real issue
And split the
already for
small
Ghost to deal with.
minion.
There's some tension on Ghost's draft for sure, and that Aphrodite is more mid to late game, and Pele, Hercules, Uller a little bit more early game slanted, though all of them still do great work in the mid game. That's where I expect this Ghost Gaming draft to really shine, is when we're at the 18-20 minute mark, where you don't have enough anti-heal to really handle the Aphrodite, and her damage is still super relevant, where Pele feels like she can 1v2, 1v3 fights with Volcanic Lightning, and Hercules' damage is still super relevant. I think that's where
Oh, I
Ghost
know.
should
Yeah, that was
make
crazy.
the vast
Surprised you
majority
lived
of
there.
plays once they get to that point, but we saw them try and make a lot of those plays in that exact same window in game number 1 of this set, and it didn't really work out too well for them.
See a bit of variation in terms of the Hunter builds this game too. Devour's Gauntlets early, Russian
Full boots on both junglers.
Full mobility here early on. Looks like the Ninja Tabby picked up, looking for the mobility to close the gap or escape the danger. And at the moment, with the
Agni
position,
has a
little
bunch
bit
of
counter
gold.
hunting as they placed a ward down. Sam now wrapping around to this left-hand side too. The ward coverage is solid for Ghost.
Ooh, this looks good. They do. She has ult. Oh, beads. Nice.
Sam is triggered, and a
Yeah.
nice first kill of the game for Ghost Gaming. But look at this round the corner.
Here comes adapting.
Still has
Oh, that's a dead. Oh, damn, that was good positioning. They had no ward there because their wards are deep. Oh no, they. Wait, is that a new ward that they just placed? Because otherwise, okay, that must be a new ward that they just placed. Right there. 'Cause that's where he was standing.
Not having any CC immunity does prove to be a little bit scary for the ROM.
Definitely. It's very funny to see how this dual lane's played out over time, because you saw Radiance look for a potential pick once upon a time. Didn't really come from there, but it started off with...
Is that ward? This one right here. Was this ward here when he did that? This red ward. Did they see him or did he just... I'm confused. No auto attack junglers? Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense in their comps.
Gotta go brawlers here if you're adapting.
I get, like, Ghost was going for this early game pressure, but they're not getting it. Like, Uller, Herc, Pele, all early game pressure picks. They're not really getting early game pressure. They're actually 3k behind already. Oof. 2k.
Brawlers it is, fellas. Suit it up again, and that's exactly where adapting goes.
And as we check in with Big Man Sings on mid lane, he's already picked up that Divine Rune. It makes a lot of sense.
I think the only really honestly good auto attacker anymore is Nemesis. I think it's just Nemesis. Like, I think Baka can be. I don't really, and yeah, I don't know. And Nemesis isn't really full auto attacker either.
It's not bad, that's for sure. And really,
like, a lot of her builds involve
neither of those items are bad items. That doesn't make me really. That doesn't
more
make me
ability.
really excited whenever I don't have to build them, though.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. They committed 2 ults onto a Herc with an Afro already attached to him.
With that of Big Man Tings, you get a good idea of what's going to happen this game. In terms of the setup, you're looking for the bombs from Big Man Tings into stuns, and then have the rest of the team collapse on the targets. But it's about distance separating between the Afro and whatever it's linked to time and again for me in this one. Radiance, though,
oh, adapting. That's the Afro ult. Knocked into the tower. Oh, Aurora got the kill. Sam came over. Oh, nice. Good cleanup. Oh, that's a dead Aurora. Oh, that was a good stun. Oh! Oh! Oh my god! That was fucking... Dude.
Gets a double kill as he rotates to his red buff. Get Rama away from Cyclone. They first pick.
Holy shit!
Take it away.
It's just too good for him, man. A double kill for him. The
Cyclone's a god.
But it's really smart. I mean, you put the one pot shot into the guy who's tanking the tower. Now you'll get the kill credit when the tower kills him.
Her and AO.
And then you make sure you get the other one before he realizes what's going on.
The rest are just low level. Yeah, I agree, Jabri.
An absolute bloodbath in the mid lane, but at the end of the day, Sam comes away with every single kill so far here for Ghost, and even with 4 kills to his name, he's still a little bit down in XP to adapting because of those 3 deaths.
And you mentioned that mid lane focus we've seen this game. I mean, game 1, there was a lot more focus towards the solo lane, but I think that really is coming down to the specific picks we see here in the solo lane. I don't think it's easy for either of those junglers to find a kill there.
No, I don't think so either. It's just a lot of mobility, and they have a lot of turnaround kill potential at the same time, which is really, really hard to deal with as a jungler. Bit of a bad beads there from Big Man Tings. That could end up mattering in the grand scheme of things. But Cyclone just kind of happens to be at the right place at the right time. Gets one, and then make sure that the second one's going to go his way because the tower shot. Perfectly played.
Yeah, that first one was pretty much max distance for my liking, but that's what you need at that moment in time. Beautiful shot from Cyclone Spin, and finds himself a bit more of a lead now in this lane.
Wow.
Towards what most likely will be that Atlanta's bow.
Amazon's got Soul Eater over there.
Needs to be stacked up. So a bit of a stacking situation there where Ghost finds a power spike in that lane. Will be a little bit later here for this ult, whereas Cyclone seems pretty comfortable so far, getting even more attempting at being...
Oh, Pele's going Soul Eater as well.
And the fact that Cyclone has gotten away.
There's already a Brawlers and a Divine on the other side.
Against the Uller,
straight into the boots right afterwards and got this many stacks is huge.
Oh.
Makes it really easy for him to withstand that poke.
I think we're
Well, the
dead
pressure
here,
from Sam on the right
Benji.
side comes out
Oh,
across for Radiance
he
and Frodo
missed.
to the left as they
He
lose
might get out.
Oliver, Mike, and the road
Oh,
Red
he
Bull.
jumped too
Sam
soon.
looked
Oh
like
my
he's gonna
god,
finish
he
this
missed
off if he
ult.
can. Benji's
Okay.
trying to limp away, but won't do so. But where is the rest of Radiance?
I know he wasn't really.
There,
He
there
probably
in the
wasn't.
fury.
Wow.
Benji
Yeah,
did
good
so
call.
much there with that Camazot's pick by just running away to buy time for Radiance to find advantages elsewhere.
Radiance is so
do exactly that.
good.
And so far, Hindu, the big thing that I've noticed here for Ghost is that Panda Cat's been awfully quiet. I mean, game
Really,
one, they
he has.
top picked that Cupid, and it did not a whole lot there for Ghost in that game.
Yeah, I feel like that's
Now
not really a
it's
panda
where
god.
we're
I feel like he's
expecting
better at
him to
other
be able
shit.
to bully in lane, especially with the start that Cyclone went to. It's really been Cyclone making noise and not Panda Cat right there. I mean, not that I'm expecting Panda Cat to go in and stop them 1v4, but it's another play on the left side of the map that has gone Radiance's way. It's not been PCAT set so
Wow.
far, for sure.
No, and I think Pika, honestly, for the second phase of the year, for my liking, he's struggled to get in the zone.
Yeah,
I'm trying to say
holy
he plays
fuck.
bad. We've seen him really pop sometimes, you know? Like, when he gets in that zone, he's an unstoppable beast. However, this split so far,
Unstoppable beast.
you can start to see that a little bit more in games like this specifically. Can he turn it around, though, is the question. When Cyclone's now level 12, has that second relic on
What are they
line,
looking for here?
it's trickier for him to find an advantage in this lane.
Driving strike
Looking
from
for
Mike,
Aurora?
straight
I mean,
away
hey,
on
I
for
guess.
Soccer with the damage coming through
They
from
get
Twitch.
it?
You think that would
Yeah.
line up, but eventually it takes the
What do they
ball
look for? Look for
from
Tings
TF,
here?
comes the rotation from Radiance.
Adapting behind?
Can they really make anything
Adapting
happen?
behind?
This is the question. Look at the
Uh-oh, this is,
to go in and try and pick Benji. Hey, Benji's
okay.
on the cooldown, guys.
But now
Let's
you're
take the kill,
dead.
don't worry. I've still got an ultimate for the
What?
Smite and the Fear of Evil.
That was a throw.
Kill back. 2 for 2
Such
so
a
far,
throw.
3 for 2.
Why did they do
Spin back
that?
double kill. Make that
Did they
trip.
think he was gonna be
Great
left
play
or
for
something?
Radiance
Oh
there,
no.
and that's going to swing him towards a pyro as well.
Wow.
It's in, right. Look at the KD. Look at it, 11 to 7. This is crazy.
Why did they do that?
No brake pedal at all for Ghost. Their car goes one speed, and it's fast on these team fights, but Radiance is just being so responsive, and I really feel like
No one
Radiance
saw adapting
came in
behind?
with such a great
He was on a
game plan
ward.
to handle
What?
Ghost's play style.
They
And
did
that's
that
exactly
knowing
what you
adapting
wanna
was
see him do.
behind. That's
It is
crazy.
adjust to what
Unless that word is
Ghost
new
was
again.
doing,
Unless
and
that word wasn't.
Radiance
No,
is
they
going
were all dead. That word was
Oh,
there.
was
That
a
had to have been
huge
there.
axe. That was everything but
What?
dead there, Panda. But you're right. I think Radiance have really
Oh
done a
fuck,
great
I haven't
job
even
of
been
just-
betting.
Ghost
Shit.
went for a cheeky pick on Benji there in
I don't
my
think I
eyes.
can bet
For a
anymore.
second, I thought it was worthwhile.
We need to
The
bet next
rotation
week.
that Radiance ran was just at the perfect moment.
And they just are being so responsive.
Damn.
They understand exactly where Ghost is going to be. Cyclone is all the
Yeah.
way over on the right-hand side. Who
That was
knows why
weird.
He's at that part of the map, but again, he just seems to be in the right spot at the right time and ends up being able to punish Ghost really, really accordingly. And now you've got
Look what
Magni
they're
from
doing.
ahead.
They keep
Magni from ahead
3-4 manning
still
up in
feels
the
like one of the most
deep
potent
solo
agents
lane.
because
Why
it just
are
always
they
has
not?
buttons to press
I
between
feel like if they just
Bombs,
applied this pressure
now
to
Pro,
left
and for Tings,
on
who
Cyclone,
normally I'm not a fan of on
like
Agni,
what are they really
but
getting out of it if they ever kill this
Force
Cthulhu,
Speeds,
or
Vegas, Aphrodite ultimates, things like
are they trying to
shells,
take
things
Adapting's
like
farm?
that. All of
Obviously
that
that's not working
one
either.
box done, and then you'll have another one up in a few seconds right after that.
Strange.
And you've got
See,
Flame
Sam
Wave
is
with
6'4", but they're
more bombs
losing.
coming.
I mean, 4 is
You have to
high
use the
deaths.
defensive option anyway.
The
So
SPL
I
game.
think that in this position, Radiance is really in a good spot if they can play through Tinks.
And I think the big key there is we've talked about the lack of CC. Well, that combustion,
Hmm.
12-second cooldown on Noxus fumes, I should say, and that causes a lot of problems for teams.
It's obviously
Well,
easier
lack
to
of
make all these
CC,
observations
more
being
hope for Radiance to collapse
outside
on
of the game and
Radiance
watching
played
it,
lights out today, in my opinion.
but
I mean,
it's
they've
definitely
allowed
some weird
Benji to
decision
go
making.
to the point of
They
ghost
keep
decks,
grouping
and
up
turning it
as
around
3 or 4 man
play
and
off the back
right
of
instead of
Russian
doing that
defense.
left and trying to
Makes it
shut down
really
Cyclone,
come out
right?
strong
I don't know.
They absolutely have. And Ghost is really suffering the consequences of looking like the most dominant team to start the phase because
Yeah,
their
that's
wins
true.
were so convincing. Even though Radiance was also undefeated up until the same point, they had some games that felt a little bit closer at the very least. So when you're up top, you've got the target on your back. And I think that
Yeah.
Sanguine did a great job of setting themselves up to beat Ghost and went with the style that was necessary. Now Radiance is coming in with a very coherent game plan.
and the potential
Yeah.
to beat them playing the same style. And now it's going to be on Ghost's platter to try and adjust to what teams are doing to them.
They're doing a lot of counter engage. Like they're winning on counter engaging. They picked this early game pressure thing where they're like trying to rush people down, and then it looks like Radiance is just playing to counter engage, like with adapting all and Agni bombs and Cyclone to finish people off.
Look that way with Rama. Well, not Rama being as big as he is, because look at what Panda Cat's done there. He has managed to get ahead in levels now.
And that's because of that rotation from Cyclone over towards the right-hand side, where Radiance would get the 4 for 2. And the Pyromancer, that was Panda Cat invading, being aggressive, pushing out waves that whole time, which is exactly what he needs to do. And despite the deficit now for Ghost, which is very, very relevant,
It's kind of
16 minutes,
anyone's game.
nothing to shake a stick at. This is where Ghost's composition starts to do the most work right now. Where you have 3-item power spikes for the majority of your team.
Yeah.
So if there's an
You got the
opportunity
Soul
for
Eater,
Ghost,
she's
I do
going
feel like
Heart
this could be
Seeker.
it, but if they don't manage to stem the bleeding, Radiance has the potential to really snowball this game.
Speaking of power spikes as well, Polar Bear Mike now at level 13.
Adapting as Hydras, Erendite already completed. Oof.
Mike avoids the damage, but Twig does not.
Adapting's gonna be smacking. Okay.
And it won't be enough to keep
Ooh, he
them
missed that monkey.
Wait for his team to turn back round.
Sam's running.
Pick on Twig has opened an opportunity for Radiance, who aren't
Yeah, that's good.
greedy here. Benji was in base, now teleports towards
Yeah.
mid lane. Now that
Ooh.
Benji shows up, and we find OK heading back to base, there could be a look towards this Primal Fury.
Especially when Cyclone heals up a bit off this purple buff. It was
They
a
don't have
risky
their
path
Afro. This is,
by
yeah, this
Mike
is
and
free.
Twig. Maybe they felt like they had more pressure on them to make a play.
Sam has
than we thought.
ult.
Linking from
I don't know
Mike
if he
up
can
on the
even
earth,
get
Wiggle
in.
just hit the
Go
drive,
around,
strike
get
on
in the
wall,
left
but
side.
both from Panda Cat, but Fury still leashed down
Get on
by
Benji,
at the moment.
maybe?
However, fine, okay,
No.
for the back line,
He got
trying to
into
push
Cyclone. That was a
Big man
huge
Cyclone
pick.
ends up falling down to Sam. Scooted on him with that ultimate too.
He's
Panda Cat
turned
looks at
around.
Benji,
Where's...
turns around and takes the sky. Takes
Oh,
out
they
Sam
got
to
it.
cancel that.
Ooh,
It's Big
where...
Man's bombs yet again.
Oh my god, they
Although,
deleted
the good
him.
news is
Fuck.
Fury is still alive. Ghost managed to buy some time. Twig on the way back, and Benji and Agony at half health are the only two hanging
Yeah,
around here.
okay, now...
Ting still has both relics though, which means that he can play a little bit more aggressively than you would think. But this is where that Aphrodite sustain comes up huge for Ghost.
Holy shit.
Panda Cat now into the fray again towards the Fury, but low on health, as is Fine OK. Fine OK doesn't have teleport, remember, so if they lose him from this engagement, it could open the door. That's why he's hanging around a little bit more, hoping for some sustain off Twig at some point. At the moment, he's leashed to Polar there, Mike. But meanwhile in the jungle, you can just see another base coming out from Agony and Rama there. This is Radiance's time to just wait and hold and not give up the Fury. Everybody backs away then. Nobody gets control of it.
Worth noting in the team fight recap, XP and gold slightly in Ghost's favor, but don't forget that that was with Twig
Adapt
getting
King.
absolutely crushed right off the beginning of that fight. It cost him a couple ults to do it, but that was still
Big
a
Man
5-on-4
Tings
that
is
Ghost
playing
managed to
lights
steal
out
the
on this
recap.
Agni too.
But they do know they got Captain Twig's beads as well. The ult comes down from Aurora on Fine OK, though Fine OK doesn't have an
Here
ult
come
of
the
his own.
junglers.
Meanwhile,
There's the
Vader Reaper
ult.
towards Panda Cat, gets sniped down
Not
as well.
great that
The
time. Oh, they're
Cyclops
gonna get
spin,
Panda.
The collapse onto the
Oh.
young lad is not going to be enough to at least make Sam for soccer. Make it one, and Panda Cat is going to survive a while longer.
Okay.
So Benji gets that ultimate off in trade. So an
Wow.
carry, a hunter,
They got adapting out.
so
Oh,
far.
that's Agni bombs.
Earthquake, I won't get a follow up just yet.
Is that it? That's it.
Happy to stand and keep throwing out these bombs for now.
Man, look at how much damage.
Oh, he
Big
could have
Man's
gotten
doing. He's
picked
at
there. That was...
17K. The
Did
next
she just
closest
miss
is 11.
Kiss?
It's not even close, and it's only getting better for
He still
Agni
had
from this
dash.
position. He's really keeping Ghost at bay very, very effectively, but he's
I love
playing
the
pretty
Agni.
far up at the same time, a luxury that's afforded to him because of the lead that he has in both itemization and in actual levels. He's up 2 levels right now on Twig, but that won't last forever. Something to
Man,
watch
I
out
just don't
for as
like
this game
Afro out
goes
the
on,
mid
because
very
Tiggs cannot
much,
afford
to
to
be
the one
honest.
standing on the corner whenever it comes time for Fire Giant fights.
Is a good point. I mean, I will say this Agni pick, though, if you look at Ghost composition, they're very much an all-in comp, right? You got Cthulhu, you got Pele, you've also got the Hercules. They're all going to want to group close together. Just means more free damage for the Agni this game. If it's
True.
available, you'll take that option. Cyclone, though, now has finished the chins. Meanwhile, Panda gone into the Atlantis bow after getting that Atty for some sustain online now. Seeing if the Hunters can make a bit more of an impact in this game as it continues. I will say, Cyclone has made enough of an impact from my liking so far. But Twig struggled a little bit in that mid lane, still 2 levels down. I know you were saying, you know, the longer the game goes on, the better Afro's going to get, but at the moment, he's having a tough old time of things.
Sure is.
Yeah, she has her breastplate now. Oh, 4
damage, but I imagine that'll be a Spear of the Magus. That'll help Twig quite a bit. Synergizes beautifully with Aphrodite's kit. Probably a ways away from that. Take a look at where he is in the player damage charts, by the way. Dead last. But you know who's just above him? The Uller. And then who's above
just
him?
above him?
The
Hercules. Yeah,
it's not
you really rely
not ideal for good.
A lot relied on Sam then. Fine, okay, this game as Aurora gets aggressive, as does Big Man Tings yet again. Dashes away from Cthulhu early, into the sky with the snipes, goes Cyclone, and takes the kill onto Sam for soccer. Mike at least trains out adapting as the bomb still
if they get
down.
Sam
Fine,
out,
okay.
it's kind of
He
it
can't
right
last
now.
long enough against the chins though, and that's another pick
Panda's
there
not
for Radiance.
getting
Meanwhile,
it.
on the backside, Benji doing good work to keep the carries of Ghost at bay. And Radiance find a small win here again.
Missed a bunch of stuff
Start
right
to
there,
look towards
unfortunately.
the Fury once more.
No anti-heal for Benji means he can do this all day long. He's looking like Captain America up here. He can brawl for hours.
Mike, meanwhile, trying to survive as long as he can.
Oh
but has
man,
to
this
drive
is
his strike
done by
away.
Panda.
Now Panda and him trapped to the tremors from Aurora. The chase on from Benji towards
Ooh, he's
Panda.
diving.
Suspect for me. But can Benji
Yeah,
find the
he's
1v1
got
kill
it.
on the tower?
Yeah.
He will do so, but it costs him quite a bit of life. Good news is, though, pretty sure there'll be a few pulls in the jungle to go and drink from. if
Sure,
he
he's
needs
fine.
them. Not when the Fury's available.
Damn,
Mike
dude, they
and
just
Twig
picked Sam.
show again, trying
They
to
have
slow
no
them down.
damage.
Pick on Aurora could be available. Damage not enough to really bring down that tanky.
That's
dragon
unfortunate.
this time round, as Radiance is
I don't think they
carrying
have the
take
comp
down
to
the
win
Primal
this
Fury. After
anymore.
about a
I think they needed to
5-minute
win. I
fight,
think
this
they
is
needed pressure early
And
to
no one
win.
has died for Radiance until maybe Final K's teleport in. Great ultimate from Aurora walls off Twig, though he does
I wonder if
not
there's a
look
world
deterred from this position. He's just not that threatening.
Where they
Just
ban
more
the
Breastplate of Valor. He's not doing enough damage
on
to
bots.
really threaten Radiance at this point.
in this
But that's
game,
one of
and
the
it
reasons we
goes
see this
better
frenzy from Mike,
because
I think they realise that Ghost here. I mean, their damage output isn't the highest.
Man.
With how Panda Cat's done so far this game, he's having an awkward time trying to stay in the right position, not be in a situation where he gets picked off early. So you're really relying on Sam to Yukon in, and that's where the majority of this damage has really come from outside of Cthulhu. It's not enough, Ryan.
It's not, and it's really apparent because Radiance is being able to take these long, extended fights against a sustained comp, and they're still winning them, which tells you how low the
Yeah.
damage numbers have been for Ghost so far in
yeah.
this game. It is going to be difficult for Radiance to do this forever because eventually I think Ghost will get enough damage, but it won't
I
happen
don't
quick.
think so.
Fairly fair
Win.
people out there from adapting the snipes too from Cyclone, puts more pressure on.
Oh my
Bottom
God,
doesn't really
Sam.
do much, but Twig and Sam both low as the Pyromancer
Wow, they're
also
out of
fell.
this fight.
The
They need
tanks
to
rotating
leave. What are
from
they
Ghost,
doing?
though,
Final
trying to
Kane.
defend their backline carries. Benji's right on the back though. Keep an eye on him. As on the front side, Cyclone
Get
did get hit pretty heavily
out.
by Polar Bear Mike there. Used both his relics. At least we saw Cyclone use relics this time. Benji
Sam's
meanwhile
going to
still doing
heal.
motions to the back. Looking at Twig, who's completely at the moment.
Okay, they dove hard, but I don't think they even get this Amazot's. Wow.
That bad out of hell available though if needed.
Jesus, dude, this
Arrangement's not a
Camazotz is a
big win
monster
there in
right now.
terms of engagement. And they are playing so well today. Like they are they're just really full of confidence.
For real.
How is Ghost ever supposed to kill Benji at this rate, man? I mean,
They're
he
not.
has just been an absolute nightmare for them to deal with.
I'm
He's
supposed to
just
ignore him and
won
kill
before
fucking
it
adapting or
on
big
their
man tings or
backline
cyclone.
and
Holy
living
shit,
that
they have so many
oftentimes
threats, dude.
setting someone pretty
So
low.
many insane threats,
Somehow,
and
with
really,
this
like,
fight, Twig
if
not backing that
Radiance
entire
kills
time,
Sam,
that was the
it
first
feels
time
like the
going
fight
back
is
since
over.
the beginning, since he first got
Like,
kicked bottom
they have
left.
Panda Cat to
Pretty
kill
sure
one
the very
target,
first
and
iteration
Captain
of that
Twig to
Gold
help
Fury fight,
them kill
he
one
still
target.
doesn't have enough gold for his
I
pick.
don't know.
So he's still not
But
gonna do
that
any
whole
damage
time they're gonna have
in these
adapting
fights.
big man tings
I
and
don't know what
cyclone,
Ghost's
like,
game plan is from here, to be honest with you, Hindu,
just
man, because
shitting damage
the way
on them.
these fights have gone, they've been
Just
close
shitting
in the sense that Sam
damage.
is in the position where he can pick one target and insta kill them every single fight.
Yeah.
That's the best they've got. They're 1-for-1ing at best.
Brawlers
The thing is,
for
Rana is doing such a
Sam.
good job, Cyclone specifically.
Heart
He's doing such a
Seeker
good
there
job of
for
pointing
Hunbots, as
early,
Hunbots does
putting
so
damage
much
on Twig
damage
and
right
Sam
now.
linked. but also buying time where he can't be a focal point, you know? He's buying enough
Cyclone
time that
is
when you see them
huge.
kind of jump towards him, he's like, no, I'm safe, don't worry about me. Meanwhile, you got Agony that's happy to dash around
Man.
across maps, and when either of them get in real trouble, a fair Radiance are looking strong
Panda's
today.
doing the build
But
I
obviously,
like.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the sustain options from Ghost and them getting back in it.
For
It's going to be a hard time.
ability-based.
Vader Weevil hits Sam, and Sam takes the trade, loses the trade to the Hunt, bats in the jungle on the wraparound. Red like a butt by adapting, and immediately Ghost have to turn around and fall back.
That was a great play by adapting. Pre-beads necessary,
No
because Sam
warps,
was
yeah.
going to kill him if he got that volcanic lightning off. Sam died in the warm-up frames, but if it would have landed, that would have been a kill turnaround for Ghost, which could have been huge.
Here comes Ghost again, though. Meanwhile, PandaCat is having to deal with Benji, and PandaCat can't do anything because of it. Has to resist the sustain of the blue buff. That leaves Mike isolated and alone. Frenzy Pop, because he realizes he's going to go down soon.
He goes in. No, he didn't. I'm so surprised the adapting didn't just go in there. That's patience. Actually, I don't know if the patience was worth it. They probably could have got picks, but they can still do whatever they want even without getting those picks right there. So it's fine.
Once again to the Fire Giant at pre-30 minutes.
They've got the damage to do it with Cyclone being 5 items.
Yeah, they
deep
can't even come
in
back.
the build, but I mean,
Benji can keep them out
is
alone.
Still here and pretty healthy. He's got Aegis coming up.
Panda
He
Cat.
has no ultimate though, so he's trying to slow them down with the Mire in the pit.
Radiance
the
got
FG,
it.
And the turn of attention towards Fine OK
Easy.
is
Oh,
obvious
that's a
to
dead
everyone
Fine
that can
OK.
see it. Aurora's ultimate will just cut off the angle of escape, and Fine OK
Man.
goes down, just trying to defend the FG.
That's a
Next
dead
could be
Sam.
Sam though, who rotates in, and look at the cursed omp usage too. No sustain for you, Sunshine.
GG.
This big man just drops another big bomb and goes 9-1-6. Radiance.
Damn, dude.
Great.
This
But
Agni
look at how
though.
These fights are all happening for Radiance. It's this 4-man death ball for Radiance that is just swatting flies that are Ghost trying to get
They
them
are
back
throwing a little.
as Benji
But
just
what do you do?
linebackers
Like, look
for
at
the
this.
buff fight.
Fuck.
They
Look at
Wig and
Radiance right
Panda
now.
Cat fight.
Holy shit.
Got to only look at a robot bat. That's the only thing they saw the whole time. And they had no chance of killing him either. It's really been Benji's frontlining that has created so much space for Radiance.
Wow.
And their carries are executing perfectly.
That's pretty
Benji's
true.
gonna go for Twig. Twig's low on mana. Doesn't have his ultimate available. He's the
GG.
beast. Doesn't matter to somebody like
Oh my
Amazon.
god, man.
That
They
is
just
gonna be
cut
the
them
game
down.
of that already. This is insane, Ryan. Radiance have looked absolutely dominant today, and Ghost have just not found an answer.
Whew.
The weird
G
triangle of who's on top of
fucking
the SPL
G.
just gets even more confusing because Ghost stomped out SSG, but SSG then beat Radiance, and then Radiance stomped Ghost today, so who knows what's going on. All I know is that anytime
Wow.
you got a game with these few teams involved, it's going to be a really, really fun game to watch. Radiance just came with a really solid plan today. They executed it perfectly, and they just
GG.
outplayed Ghost from beginning to end.
Rip
Real question
skins.
though, Ryan. Ghost 2 back-to-back losses.